The wedding decorations were still in place. The hotel suite still smelled of flowers. The city outside was just beginning to wake. But inside that room, the bride was already dead. She had been married for less than 24 hours. And the man who had promised her a lifetime was now being questioned for her death. Welcome to Shocking True Crime Chronicles. This is where stories unfold slowly, where answers don't arrive all at once, and where silence often speaks louder than facts. No one expected the call that morning. Hotel staff noticed something was wrong when the door didn't open. Breakfast trays went untouched. Phones rang unanswered. When authorities arrived, the story immediately felt wrong. This wasn't a crime scene anyone was prepared for. The groom was 60 years old, a self-made millionaire, well-known in business circles across Dubai. The bride was much younger, Pakistani, newly arrived in the city, newly married. There had been no prior reports of violence, no public disputes, no warnings. Yet by midday, the groom was in custody, and by evening, the story was already spreading. But investigators were cautious, because at first, they believed this might have been something else, an accident, a medical emergency, a tragic misunderstanding, until they began asking questions. To understand what happened, investigators had to go backward. The groom, we'll call him Ahmed al-Rashid, was known for control. Not violence, not chaos. Control. He built his wealth carefully. He protected his image fiercely. And he believed deeply in reputation. Friends described him as disciplined, traditional, private. The bride, Aisha Khan, was described very differently. Soft-spoken, reserved, family-oriented. Her relatives spoke of opportunity, of hope, of a marriage that promised security. The wedding itself was elegant but restrained. No excess, no chaos. Photographs from that day show smiles, but not joy. No one noticed anything wrong, and that's what made what happened next so difficult to accept. After the ceremony, the couple returned to their hotel. No guests followed, no family members stayed, just the two of them. Inside that room, something changed. Investigators would later piece together a timeline, not from witnesses, but from silence. No calls were made, no messages sent, no requests for help. What they did find were inconsistencies, statements that didn't align, details that shifted. Ahmed said there had been an argument, then said there hadn't. He said he discovered something, then refused to explain what it was. And slowly investigators realized, whatever happened that night did not begin with violence. It began with information. The truth didn't surface immediately. It never does. Investigators uncovered messages, old records, details Aisha had never shared. Her former job, not illegal, but deeply stigmatized in the groom's worldview. To Ahmed, it wasn't about what she had done. It was about what he believed it meant: honor, control, image. The discovery came after the wedding, after the vows, after the legal binding. And that timing mattered, because to him the marriage now felt irreversible. And irreversible things frightened him. What followed was not premeditated, it was reactive. A moment where rage overpowered reason. When the truth finally emerged, it horrified both families. Aisha's life was reduced to a detail she could never outgrow. Ahmed was arrested, charged. His wealth could not protect him here. The case drew international attention, not because of luxury, but because of loss. A wedding turned into evidence. A bride turned into a headline. A life ended before it truly began. Aisha Khan is remembered now not for her past, but for the future she never got to live. This story is not about wealth or status. It's about control. And what happens when someone believes they own another person's story? So we leave you with this question. When a life is judged by its past, who decides what forgiveness looks like? And how many lives are lost to silence before the truth is ever spoken?